On July 29th, 1994, I founded Judicial Watch. The name means what it says, watching judges. You can read about it in my autobiography, Whores, Why and How I Came to Fight the Establishment. Who was I talking about? I was talking about politicians, the media, the legal profession, lawyers, and in particular, judges. Judges have the capability of being our most important public servants. As I've said many times, they protect us from the tyranny of government and from ourselves. But they have not become that way over time. And you know my position on it. You've heard it over and over and over again. It's similar to Jefferson's. Federal judges, unelected, unaccountable to the people, they would become despots and tyrants, and that's what they become. More powerful than the other two branches of government, more powerful than even perhaps the deep state, although that's debatable. They're part of the deep state. They're put on the bench through so-called legalized bribery and sometimes actual bribery. Money talks and nobody walks. This is how a federal judge gets his position. One of them out of Rhode Island just a few years ago, $500,000 got him his job. They think lifetime tenure. It's not lifetime tenure. They serve for good behavior. They can be removed for bad behavior. I've got a whole project on how to do that. We're working on legislation. They also believe they're above the law, that they have absolute immunity, that they can do whatever they want. That needs to be changed too. We're going to push for that. The head of the Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan, does nothing but go on Fox News, pontificate, and frankly spew crap. That's what he does. He does little to nothing. And that goes for the rest of Congress, with the exception of Nancy Mace, the congresswoman from South Carolina who's running for governor in the state of South Carolina. You can't depend on these people. We have to do it for ourselves. Now, the most recent outrage came about just in the last few days during the Thanksgiving holiday period. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, perhaps the worst circuit in the United States, lazy, not intellectual, worse than even the District of Columbia Circuit, if you can believe that, and that's going pretty far with the leftists that are up there. Worse than even the Ninth Circuit, which we know their reputation, also very leftist. They affirmed a decision by a judge I write about in my book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution to Wake Up America, and in the prior one, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry, Donald Middlebrooks. I would otherwise call him Honorable Donald Middlebrooks, but he does not deserve the word honorable. Many years ago, I brought a lawsuit under the Racketeering, Corrupt, and Influenced Act, RICO, in front of him against Hillary Clinton and all the other criminals. That, of course, was dismissed. President Trump tried it again, and it was dismissed. And this judge not only took personal shots at President Trump and those who support him, his lawyers, Alina Abba and others, on the other side of the coin were lawyers actually I've been up against with regard to the PGA Tour, the antitrust case that I brought in Palm Beach County. This was in Florida, in the Southern District of Florida. And Middlebrooks took personal shots at Trump and everybody else. This is, beyond the pale. It's uncalled for. Anyway, it goes up to the 11th Circuit, and it's affirmed. And what did he do? He didn't just dismiss this RICO case. He also ordered over $1 million in attorney's fees to be paid for by Trump and his lawyers. This is what we're dealing with. This is why the legal profession needs to be taken apart top to bottom. When you have compromised and corrupt judges like Middlebrooks and the judges even on the 11th Circuit, and the majority opinion was written by Judge Pryor, who's a Trump appointee. Trump rubber stamped his appointment in his first administration. These names were given to him by the Federalist Society and other lobbyists to make money off of this. Trump didn't even know who he was appointing. And this is what the problem is. It doesn't matter almost whether you have a Clinton, Obama, or Biden judge. These Trump judges are almost as bad. And perhaps he's doing better in the second term, but frankly, I doubt it because he relies on the advice of so-called legal experts, illegal experts, right? Well, I'll tell you what the legal experts are. They're people who don't know their rear end from a hole in the ground and are politically and ideologically inclined in their establishment. The real problem in this country is the establishment, Democrat or Republican. And this is why people like Nancy Mace, when they go up in front of the establishment, those people strike back. They defame her. They do other things. They harm anyone who stands up to them. I'm going against them on a daily basis, whether it's the DC Bar Association or those who take their decisions and then start reciprocal discipline somewhere else, or whether I'm dealing with lawyers or whether I'm dealing with judges. I can tell you there are some good judges in this country, few and far between. For many years, Royce Lamberth was a very good judge in the District of Columbia. He followed the rule of law, and he allowed me to get into the Clinton administration to find out what was going on and to bring hard-hitting cases. With regard to J6, he turned in a different direction. I still love the guy, but I'll tell you something. There's not one federal judge today that has any degree of courage that's out there, and that goes for lawyers as well. Lawyers, they'll never put their clients, except for me, and maybe there's one other in this world, I don't know who it may be, but I can't think of it now, who will put a client's interest before his or her own interest. The legal profession needs to be cleaned up, and that's why you need to go to freedomwatchusa.org, freedomwatchusa.org, contribute to our cause with tax-deductible contributions. We need to take the legal profession apart, put it back together again so it can function, because without an honest legal system, this country is going down the drain. You can see what President Trump's up against. You see what I'm up against. You can see what others are up against. This is where we are today. So Middlebrooks, I'm going to call him in front of our citizens' grand juries. And I'll tell you something, the judges on the 11th Circuit, they have no guts. They have no sense of right and wrong. They're establishment. They don't like anything that deals with Trump. They run away with it. And Breyer is a Republican-appointed Trump judge. He wrote the decision affirming the $1 million attorney's fee award against the lawyers who represented President Trump and President Trump himself. That's my message for today. The Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, join our Justice League, and try to make the legal profession, with our help, worthy of this nation. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast.